Welcome, everybody, to our first virtual parent meeting. We have Officer DeJordy with us tonight, and he's going to talk a little bit. We're going to start with Officer DeJordy. He's going to talk about the safety, security, and the recent Alice tabletop drill that we just conducted. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide, and I'm going to let Officer DeJordy go ahead and start. Thank you, Officer DeJordy.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you for having me. So I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not going to bore you with my resume or anything like that. Mr. DiOrio gives me a hard time on that one. But so we follow a specific protocol, as does all the districts around. We all use basically the same acronym, the same program. We were one of the first in the Blackstone Valley to bring this back in 2013. So it's one of those things that across the country that all these places and all the schools now are using it. It's called Alice. It's easy to remember. As you can see, it's alert, lockdown, inform, counter, evacuate, and we didn't mess up that slide. We have the evacuate first. And even though that, as you might see in a couple of slides that we can use any single one of those parts of this program, it's still, we still want to say that we're not going to tell the kids and tell the staff that we're countering is our last option. So it's really important. And again, it's the name is easy. And it's just one of those things that everybody can remember. And it's, basically almost self-explanatory, even though I do have a lot of certifications in this. But so, Mr. DiOrio, if you want to head to the next slide. So just to kind of, I know it's self-explanatory, but, A stands for alert, that, we get the word out, whether it's an announcement from overhead or whether it's yelling down the hallway or whether it's teachers seeing a disruption, something happening. Or it's a rate over there are a lot of walkie-talkies and radios, so that something's going on. So the alert happens and everybody's alerted that something's going on. And again, none of these have to be in order, but it kind of makes sense the way it is, because a lot of times we don't know exactly what's going on. But if there is something that we'll call a threat in the school, we might not have all the information right away. So we might choose to lock down, which is our L. And it used to be, that's what we used to use years ago. But as we've seen in recent incidents across the country, all the way back to Columbine, just locking down is not the way to go anymore. But it's a good starting point, allows us to think about what we're going to do and plan what our next move are going to be. As far as inform, the communication, this whole program is based on communication, whether it's calling 911, whether it's calling the main office, whether it's overhead pages. If there's somebody in the building that shouldn't be here, we're paging that out, letting people know, letting teachers know what's going on, where is there an actual threat in the building, or is this just a drill? And I have to say, whenever we do this, if we are doing a drill, it's said before we start that this is just a drill, and after we're done, whatever we're saying, again, this is just a drill. So we would never come on and not say drill or anything like that. So when and if this ever happens, the teachers know that it's true and not a drill. And again, evacuate it's very self-explanatory. We try and get out of the building as quick as possible. We do great at across the board in every district and every town around at fire drills, because fire drills are mandatory by state law. We have to do so many fire drills. What not every town and not every district does is lockdown drills. And so we want to get good at these, even though it's a horrible topic and we really don't, we try and hold back what we tell the kids, but we also, the kids need to know what's going on in case something ever happens. And of course, countering, it's our very last resort. Myself, and other police officers, when we come in and train the teachers, we give them tips on things that they can do, whether it's just distracting somebody or even when they lock down, how to barricade doors, and things like that. So it is things like that, little things. And like I tell the teachers when I give the presentation, we're not looking to buy hours. We're looking to buy minutes, even seconds, because in reality, if you tell a class to get out of the classroom and to run down the hall and out the building, they can probably do that within a matter of seconds. So especially at the middle school, we have so many exits to get out, and so many different ways they can go. Some might look at that as a negative, where we have a lot of exterior doors, but I'm going to turn around and say, well, let's look at that as a positive, where if something ever did happen, we can get out from almost anywhere in the building very quickly. All right, Mr. D, how about the next one? So just real quick on the traditional lockdown, we tell them to get away from the door, hide under your desk, and wait for the police to save the day. And in recent years, and especially, I know people can bring up the Texas Uvalde, what happened there. There was a lot of breakdown in a lot of different ways, but we don't have the time to go over that tonight. But originally, lockdown, back when Columbine, back when Virginia Tech, and some of the major shootings that happened, but they were designed for police officers so that we could come into a building and the only bad person in the hallway would be the bad guy, because everybody else would be hiding in their classrooms. But we've realized that, due to manpower and how quick police can get into the building and get to where the bad guy is, that most of the time it's done and over with before we get there. So we need to be able to instruct our teachers and tell our teachers that they have to think for themselves, and the kids should be listening to them. So, all right, Mr. D, how about the next one? Again, we're gonna. I know I repeated already, but the traditional response is a lockdown, but we're just using that to buy some time and be able to make informed decisions. But it's still a great option. But right now we're saying it's not all there is out there. It's not a one size fits all. We're not going to tell the teachers they have to do something or they need to do something. They're basing their judgment on what information they have and what they do. So, all right, next slide. So in these procedures, we try and deal with the knowns, which is what the information that they're getting. We may use one part of the plan. We may use all parts of the plan. But we try to tell the teachers that, we deal with what's in front of us, and don't worry about if something happens when you get outside or in the hallway, then you address it then. Because if we what if every scenario to the nth degree, then we're going to end up what ifing ourselves into doing nothing. So we try and say, deal with what's in front of us, and we try and adapt to any situation that we could. And before we go on any further, if anybody has any questions or comments, if you want to type them in, either somebody can read them to me, or I will answer a couple of questions after if need be. But for the most part, or if there's something specific later on that you want to talk to me separate about, I can always be reached. But if you have any questions, please fire away and start typing them in, just so we can get them answered for you in a timely fashion. Go ahead, Mr. D. Next. So what does Northbridge Middle School do? So every year, all the new staff have to sit and listen to an actual PowerPoint and our procedures that we do here, the ALICE program. So that's all new staff, followed by they all have to then sit through it again, because we want them to hear it again, and we want to make sure that they're going to sit with the rest of the staff and the rest of the non-union peoples, and I'm still training across the board right up until the 28th is my last group of staff across the district. And that's just not middle school, but that's every building. Every staff member gets the ALICE program every year. This year, we're conducting practical drills with our staff, and it's important that they see the practical drills, because during a stressful situation, it's tough to really how is everybody going to react. So we want to make sure that the staff knows what when they're teaching their students, they know what they're actually doing and how they're going to react during a stressful situation. So we are going to do practical drills with the staff this year. And then the plan is that all the students this year are going to receive a brief Alice presentation from me, and it's nothing to stress out about. It's basically what I've talked to you about tonight, and it's just kind of just to inform them. And we really harp on the fact that there are so many adults in the building that we are telling them you need to listen to an adult. Listen to an adult. They know what to do. They know where to go and what to do. So as of you're probably all aware that we did a tabletop drill just last week. We still have 2 more planned for that, November and January. But just to give a shout out to if there are any staff here. And I knew I was supposed to send an email out, a good email out to the staff, but I haven't yet. But it was awesome. It was very successful. The kids heard the announcements. The teachers actually taught their kids what to do during that situation. And Mr. DiOrio would get on the intercom and kind of give a scenario. All the teachers had the same scenarios, meaning that we said that the threat was on the opposite side of the building, and they basically had to tell the kids how do we get out quick, which door would we leave, where would we go, and that's an important thing. And as all of you probably got the reunification documents at the beginning of the school year from the superintendent's office, you know that our reunification location is at the middle school. Is at the high school. I'm at the high school right now, so sorry. So is at the high school, and that's the best possible spot for us. And not only that, coming in that direction from the middle school, we also have the Christian school there if need be. So as far as evacuation, like I said, self-explanatory. And then the next step, we said the threat was in their room, meaning that the bad guy or the bad person was in their room, and they had to do things to countermeasures, whether it was distraction, throw pencils, pens, whatever they had in their hand, just to buy themselves some time to get out of the room. And then we ended that the threat was near their room, and we ended with this. Normally, we would probably have done this one before the countering. But we wanted, this took the longest because I'm sure your kids told you that we actually had the kids and the staff barricading classrooms, showing them how effective stacking up chairs or putting door wedges in or doing things. And the kids, as they were taking it serious, Mr. DiOrio, Mr. Stein, Mr. Palmerhouse, we all walked around, myself, while this was going on. The conversations that they had was not, of any normal conversation. They took it serious. It was really good. The teachers did an awesome job at telling the kids what they should be doing. Some of the teachers were outside their classrooms, and the kids were barricading their rooms, and the teachers are trying to get in because the kids wanted to see how effective it was. It was really, it's important that we did that, and we're glad that we did it, and the kids need to hear it so that it's not such a shock if something really ever did happen. And then the next time that we do a drill like that, we're not going to have every single teacher do the same thing at the same time. We're just going to move that threat around the building, and let the teachers decide on their own what they should be doing. And the next time that we do this, we're going to notify you before we do it, and then after we're done, we'll send something out. Mr. DiOrio will send something out saying what we're going to do. But like I said, we're going to we do realize that this isn't a comfortable topic for everybody, and that there are kids and parents with anxiety about it, rightfully so. So we do realize that we will be notifying you the next time. And again, we always will follow something up after it's done. And then ultimately in the spring, our plan is to have a full evacuation drill for for the middle school, so they're going to evacuate up to the high school so that everybody knows where to go and what to do. We have staff that doesn't live in town. We, as much as you say it's right up the road, well, during one of these things, when you're leaving a different part of the building in a relatively quick manner, sometimes it's good just to at least do a walkthrough and do a full evacuation so that we make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. Next slide there, Mr. D, and I think that might even be it for me. Perfect. So if there are, were there any questions? I'll be on for the next
No,
couple.
not at this time.
Okay, I'll be on for the next couple minutes. I am at the high school at curriculum night, so I'm going to shove off in a minute. But if there is anything, I do have an email address, so we should have put that on one of the slides. Or you can find me at any one of the buildings, either at the high school, the middle school, or the elementary school, or you can just call the police station and ask for me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So I just want to thank the admin team for having me. I know this is, like I said, I know it's a stressful topic, but I think we all feel that it's important that you hear it from me and that you hear it that what we're doing to protect your kids. So thank you.
Thank you, Officer DeJordi. We take the safety and security of our school very serious. We do have cameras throughout our building, both inside and out. And that's why we go through this training with Officer DeJordi. We want to make sure that our kids are safe at all times. I would like to add, we did evacuate our building. We had our first fire drill last week, and we were out of the building in 3 minutes. So we were the quickest time in the district. So a little shout out to our staff for that. But we were out of our building, completely evacuated in 3 minutes. So thanks to the staff for that, and a great job by all the students. So we're going to move on to updates real quick. So our first week of PBIS awards will begin September 27th. As you know, we have a big push for PBIS in our building this year. Mr. Stein is heading our PBIS program, and he also has Miss Hammond, Miss Cody, and Mr. Prario. So we have one teacher from each house that's on that committee, and they did a heck of a job. The students had lessons. When we really went through the first 2 weeks of school and spent a lot of time on PBIS, discussing expectations, what it means to do the right thing. So great job, everybody there. I do want to remind parents too that we're excited as an admin team, Ms. Palmerhouse, Mr. Stein, and myself, that we're going to be having meetings with each house once a month. And this is great for us because it gives us a chance to get in front of the kids, really make those positive relationships with all the students. We can discuss expectations on a regular basis. And then during that time, the house members will meet as a house to discuss the SEL needs of the kids in the building at that time. So really looking forward to that. Our first meeting, the admin team with the kids, is going to be the first week of October. And then we'll do it every month moving forward. I also want to remind parents that we do have after school help, and that starts now. So please don't wait until your child is behind before you ask for help. Every one of our staff members stays after school at least once a week, and many of them stay after more than that. So reach out to your teacher if you need some extra help. Please don't wait until you get behind for that extra help. We also are going to try to set up some transportation, so that's not a barrier for people as well. But right now, every teacher stays after at least 1 day a week for extra help. We are really excited about this. We are going to have a Pep Rally, our first one in probably 6 years. We're going to have a whole school Pep Rally Friday, October 7th. And so that is going to be in the morning. I also have some of my colleagues are coming out from Palmer School. They're going to join us for that. We're probably going to have some little basketball competition. And then they're going to stick around for a little bit before they head back. But excited about our Pep Rally on Friday, October 7th. On here, I get questions from parents quite often because they don't know who they should call in regards to some of their questions. So I went ahead and put this right on here for everybody. So as you can see, if you're going to be late to school, early dismissal, tardies, absences, that would be Miss Capistran. She's in our main office, so you would contact Miss Capistran for that. She usually answers the phone when you call the main number. Student records and passwords, that's going to be Miss Signoretti. Behaviors is going to go to Mr. Stein and Miss Palmerhouse or myself. but any one of us can help with behaviors. If you have any kind of safety concerns, let any of us know right away so we can address those for you as well. Scheduling concerns would go to myself or Ms. Palmerhouse. And then finally, sports, clubs, activities, things like that would go to Mr. Stein. So I just put that on there so you all know who you can contact in case you have some questions in regards to that. Of course, any of us would help you with anything, but if you want to get the answer quick, these are the best people to go to right off the bat. Curriculum night, I know the high school is doing theirs right now, so we're really grateful to Officer DeJordy to take time out to join us for this. Our curriculum night is going to be September 28th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It'll be similar to last year. Those of you who were with us last year, we're going to have the students are going to fill out their schedules and homerooms to bring home to the parents. And essentially what will happen is when you come to the building at 6 o'clock, we'll meet in the auditorium. The admin team will spend about 10 minutes with you, and then we'll release you. You follow your child's schedule that they've created for you, and you'll have about 10 to 15 minutes to get to those classes. And there's 5 classes that you'll be able to rotate through to make sure that you get to see all your teachers. I also want to point out, if you do have concerns and you would like to speak to one of your child's teachers, you can do that at any time as well. We have a wonderful staff in the middle school, and they would be happy to meet with you. So if you have any concerns academically, social, emotionally, please reach out to your teachers, let them know. We can set up a meeting. Also, I didn't put that on here, but our adjustment counselors, we just hired our adjustment counselor for House 2. So we are back full staff with our adjustment counselors. We have a great team of adjustment counselors. So if you're in House 1, 2, or 3, reach out to your adjustment counselors and they can help you as well. Clubs and activities. So I hope you're going to be as excited as I am about this. We hired some really, really wonderful staff this year. We hired 11 new staff. Most of our staff is involved with extracurricular activities, most of our new staff. And just if you're wondering, that is not a picture of Mr. Vikstrom and his crew up there. But this year he will be leading our drama department. So Mr. Vikstrom, who is a ELA teacher, grade 6 and 7 in house number 1, he will be our drama teacher. And I have to tell you, I know he wouldn't say this, but I'm going to brag a little bit. He is a legit director. He directs plays. He has his own company in Worcester. They do plays and musicals. He performed in plays and musicals. So we're really excited to have him leading the charge with the drama. And so what's going to happen, you're going to get some information about that shortly. And then we're going to do one play. We shoot for the fall, late fall, early winter. And then he's going to do a big one sometime in the spring. So more information coming about that. We're also in year 2 of our student advisory club led by Mr. Stein and Mr. Prario. And I know they met with some of those kids already. This club is great. There is no fee to join the advisory club. Mr. Stein and Mr. Prario do not take a stipend to do this. They do this because they're just great people and they love to be with the kids. So there is no fee to join that club. But we're in year 2 of that, excited about that. I think Mr. Stein already had one meeting. He had over 20 kids show up for that through returning members. Also, we're in year 2 of our National Junior Honor Society, and that's led by Mrs. Wormuth. And I wanted just a quick shout out to our athletes out there. This year, our fall athletics is up over 20% from the previous year, 20% increase in the amount of students participating in our fall sports. So much so that many of our teams had to make cuts. So, you know, it's great to see all these kids involved with this stuff. And our band and chorus continues to grow. Huge shout out to Mr. Gogan for all the work that he's done. We have an amazing chorus teacher, music teacher this year. We hired Miss Hammer. So currently we have 40 students in band, 40 students in our middle school band. I mean, that is really something. And if you got to see them perform last year, they are really good. But we also, Miss Hammer has her course up to 23 students. So really, really proud of those guys and really happy for that. So good to see our music program growing. We talk about this all the time. Our goal as a team is to have all our students involved in after-school activities. Last year, we had about 60% of our kids involved in some type of after-school event, you know, whether that be a sporting event, one of our clubs, some type of activity. This year, our goal is to get 75% of our students involved. And, you know, eventually we'd love to see 100% of our kids involved in something. I think drama is going to be a huge help for that, pushing us over that 75%. But we're excited about that. I put on here for you a link to the clubs. This is a direct link. If you want to find this tab, you go to our NMS webpage. It's under the Students tab, and there's a direct link there too for clubs and activities. I went ahead and put this on here for you as well, so you can click on that, and it'll take you right to that page. Couple reminders. So National Junior Honor Society, and I do know we have Ms. Wormuth with us, but their first meeting is going to be September 19th, Monday morning. And I know I talked to Ms. Wormuth about this. So returning NJHS members, so members of 7th grade who are now in our 8th grade, you do not have to reapply to be in the National Junior Honor Society. So once you're in, you're in. However, 7th grade students who want to be part of the National Junior Honor Society will need to pick up an application and apply for that. And Ms. Wormuth can answer any more questions about that if you have questions in regards to that. There's also plenty of information on that link that I provided up above that'll take you to that. And I know Ms. Wormuth and Ms. Jonkis have a lot of information about that, along with information about our other clubs. Student council applications are available on the webpage, and they are due 9/16, so Friday by 2 p.m. All applications are due. If you do have any questions, you can contact Ms. Jonkis or Ms. Wormuth. Again, this is all on the website as well. We've been making announcements. I think Mr. Stein's been making announcements for over a week, if I'm not mistaken, almost 2 weeks, Mr. Stein. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. So we've been making announcements for the kids to pick up their applications. I also know that Ms. Wormuth and Ms. Jonkis have something set up outside their classroom for students to drop off those applications in case they're not in their room. They can also do it in between classes. So we're trying to do everything we can to make sure if they want to be part of STUCO, they certainly can. I do want to point out STUCO and National Junior Honor Society, there is an application process, which means not all students will qualify for those two clubs. So just want to point that out. But thank you to Ms. Wormuth and Ms. Jonkis for that. And again, if there's any more questions that you have, you can contact them directly or go to the website, and there's plenty of information on there as well. Community events. So we have a couple community events coming up. Our second annual Family Fun Run is going to be October 2nd. And I think Ms. Palmerhouse helped me with this. If I click on this, I don't know if this will work, but it should be our, and I'm going to send this out to everybody too. This is our flyer for the Family Fun Run, but it's going to be October 2nd. I know we have some members of our Parent Army. Here we go. We have some members of our Parent Army who are involved with helping. If you'd like to be part of this event and help us out, you can contact myself, Mr. Stein, Ms. Palmerhouse, or Ms. Wildfear. She can also help with that. She's our parent liaison. If you didn't know, she's also heading our Parent Army. And I have her email on there as well for everybody. But the open registration is going to be 7 o'clock on Sunday. We start at 10. And I want to point out, we had a blast last year. We had some generous donations this year, so we were able to drop the price. So it's only $10 per person or $40 max for a family. And with that price, you do get a T-shirt. We just ordered the T-shirts. They're pretty sharp. They're maroon with white letters. We get a T-shirt. That's lunch. Mr. Stein will be on the grill again. An ice cream ticket. We'll have some entertainment. And, of course, we'll have a raffle. So that includes one free raffle ticket as well. So please come out and join us. We had a lot of fun last year. So we hope to see everybody out there again this year. Again, that's October 2nd. And then also movie night. So we had a really great movie night. Last year we showed Hocus Pocus 1. This year, Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out. I know my kids have been waiting for this for a long time. So we're going to try to have that set up. Just like we did last year, we'll be inside in the auditorium. I don't have an exact date for you yet, but information will follow on that. But again, we're excited to show that Hocus Pocus 2, another great for us coming up in October. So 2 events coming up in October, starting with the Family Fun Run and then moving on to the movie night. That is it for us tonight. I knew Officer DeJordy was speaking, so I didn't want to overload everybody, and we're new into the year. So we wanted to make sure we had time for questions. So I'm going to try to stop sharing my screen if I can. And if there's any questions out there, at this time, we're going to take questions. So we have about a half an hour for questions. And I'm going to stop presenting so we can see everybody. So if you have any questions, we can take them at this time. Of course, you can contact us at any time as well.
At the moment, there are not any in the chat, but we'll see if anybody would like to type anything in the chat for a question.
Okay. Now we'll hang around for a few minutes if you have something. Again, or you can certainly shoot any of us an email at any time. And Officer DeJordi as well, if you have any questions about the safety and security in the building, let us know about that too. And I won't keep you guys too long. Usually we have at least 5 or 6 good questions tonight. I think everyone's going to be quiet tonight, so we have no questions tonight.
Mr. Diorio, I know you entered about you mentioned the parent army. I don't know if anybody's out there that is pretty handy with tools and whatnot. Maybe you should mention about all the equipment that we just received.
Yeah.
And we're looking for some assistance there.
Yeah, and I saw a question in there about National Junior Honor Society. I think Miss Wormuth is still here.
I'm here.
Did you see that, Miss Wormuth?
I think it was about if the meeting on September 19th is for current members.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So in February, we inducted our first class, which involved 7th and 8th graders. Those 7th graders are now 8th graders. So that meeting on September 19th is Monday after school in my classroom, and it will be for those current 8th graders who were inducted last year. The application process will start in November for the other students.
So new students, Miss Wormuth, new students in November, that's when they're going to start their application process.
Correct. And that can be 7th and 8th graders who meet the criteria. And this year, because last year we had a little bit lower a little bit lower average in their classes because of COVID, this year that average across all of their classes, including related arts, will be a 90.
Okay.
Okay. And there will be announcements about the picking up a packet from me in order to go through that application process.
And I'll keep you updated on that as well. And I know it's on our website. We'll keep you updated on that. So all parents out there, but yeah, we make a lot of announcements about that. We make sure the students know about that when it comes up.
And it's also on the club calendar.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Wormuth.
You're welcome.
You see, you have a new one that's asking, she was at the high school curriculum night. Will this PowerPoint be sent out to parents?
Yeah, this is recorded. So this will be uploaded onto our website. So you'll be able to see this, this whole recording will be uploaded for you. There was one after that. I know, Jennifer, there was one right before hers. I'm sorry, I missed it. I think it was another NJHS message or.
Yes.
Do you want to verify that it is going to be November and not December? Because it says on the NJHS website that the new apps come out December. So it is November.
Okay.
Yeah, the date is after the progress reports for term 2. So I believe that's just after Thanksgiving. So it's that end of November, beginning December time. But I can verify the date and just make sure that the website's up to date on that.
Okay. Dawn, I saw your message. Was there one right before hers, though? Did someone ask? You're welcome.
Let's see, so they're asking, is there a place to read about the activities and clubs? Lisa has put the link on there for them to go to for their descriptions.
Yeah.
Then Don Gomez asked, what was Mr. Stein asking about people with tools?
Yeah. Thanks. We got Mr. Stein was saying we have 2,800 pounds of weights we got delivered last week. We're very excited to have our weight room ready to go. It was painted last year. Mr. Stein had some kids come in, they painted it, got it ready to go. It's a room right off the gym. We have 2 heavy bags. We have kettlebells. We have dumbbells from 5 to 50 pounds. We have a squat rack. We have a bench press. And about 500 pounds in Olympic weights. And what happens is the equipment that came to us as far as the squat rack and the bench and the rack that's going to hold all the equipment came to us in pieces. On behalf of Mr. Stein and myself, we are not the greatest people with tools. So we are hoping that there's some parents out there that are handy with tools and would love to come in and help. I think we'll knock it out in a couple of hours, but we're hoping to come in a weekend and get everything put together. And again, this weight equipment is going to be used in our gym classes. So it's going to enhance our gym classes as well as after school weightlifting. We're going to start a weightlifting club. So we're really excited about this. I think this is just going to benefit our kids in so many ways. So anyone interested, reach out to Mr. Stein or myself if you'd like to come in and help us put some of the stuff together.
A parent has asked about accessing cumulative grades as iPass is gone and Infinite Campus does not have last year's grades in them. So they would need to talk to Miss Signoretti about getting a transcript of their previous grades.
That's part of the National Junior Honor Society application, and we actually have a special day where the students can come and we explain how they would access that and who they need to ask, and the students can take care of that with Ms. Signoretti.
Perfect.
Thank you. Anything else? We plan on just while you're out there, we plan on doing going back and forth between a virtual and in-person meetings. We love seeing you guys in person, as you know, after meeting with Mr. Stein, Ms. Palmas, and myself. In person is our favorite. It gives us a chance to say hi to everybody, so we love that. But we understand that virtual sometimes it's not convenient for everybody. So we're going to try to alternate between maybe an in-person and then a virtual meeting. No matter what we do, though, we will record these meetings for everybody. Any other questions about Alice training that I can answer for anybody, or the new stuff with the school year, anything at all? All right. Well, all right, everybody. Is there anything, Ms. Palmerhouse? Nothing?
No, I was going to say the chat is quiet.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I do want to tell you that our school year is off to an incredible start. I've been an administrator this is my 12th year now. And I can tell you that this is the best start of a school year I've ever had. And I think that most of the staff agrees with me. The kids are happy. The teachers are happy. It's been a really great start to the year. And I want to thank all our parents. We couldn't do this without you. We have great kids because we have great parents. And I say that all the time. So thank you very much. One last thing before I forget, we will have our first student of the month. I believe it's the second weekend in October. I'll get you information on that. But other than that, thank you, everybody, for supporting our school and for everything you do with your kids. We really love meeting with you guys. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.